Okay, so we're back with the module associated with dplyr, so doing data manipulation and data wrangling in R. I am your wonderfully competent lecturer, Daniel Navarro, and I'm going to pick up from where the last video left off. So, where we were up to is variable selection. So the dplyr functions we've looked at so far are filter, to select or to pick out and keep a subset of the rows, arrange, which organizes the output into an appropriate form that we want. And now what we want to do in this section is talk about how to select columns to retain in the dataset. So in order to do that, what I need to do first is go through the solutions to the exercise, and now let me just clear my screen and check that I have them. Okay, so with any luck, you have all found this very easy to do. If not, I will be there in Slack to chat with you about things. So the forward associations for man are constructed the same way that we do for women. So we take the small wall of words dataset, we pipe it to q equals man, number of responses greater than 1. And for the backwards associates, we do exactly the same thing there, except with the response being man rather than the q being man. And then, because these will come out in an unhelpful order, we're going to arrange them in descending order of strength. So, okay, I will run this whole script again with Control-Shift-S, which gives me my runs everything. Let's have a look at the output now. So woman FWD, which is something we should be familiar with. We've done this one before. Yep, there are 8 associations there. So let's have a comparison now between woman and man. Okay, so there you go. We have, again, we have 8 associations that were sufficiently strong. There are some, they're not exactly symmetric, they're not the opposite of each other. So woman has beauty as a first associate, whereas man has husband as an associate, which is, you get the idea, they're not exactly symmetric. Okay, those are the forward associations. The backward associations, on the other hand, so there's woman, which we talked about before, and I'll clear it again and go man. Back. So man as the backward associate is a little different. So macho is the strongest backwards association to man. So given macho as the keyword, 51 out of 100 people said man. Given woman as the keyword, the Q word, 38 people said man. So there it is there. Given handy as the Q word, people said man, 33, and so on. Overall, there are more backwards associates of man than there are of woman that reach strength. So there's 289 rows in this data frame, whereas there was only, if we just go over here into the right panel, you can see that there are only 200 rows for woman. So there is some asymmetry here in terms of how man and woman are being represented in the English language, or at least in this data set. Okay. So we will come back to this, we will continue to explore this as the slides go on, but we should get to the next step. Now, this is, my motivation for this section is going to be a practical one, which is that these slides only have so much horizontal room, and if I want to start adding more variables later on, I'm going to run out of space really quickly. So if we look at the printouts, like I'm struggling to fit the 6 variables that I already have on the screen. So I want to select a few that I want to keep, and only the ones that I want to keep. And this is where the variable selection comes in handy. So I'm going to, all these slides are wrong, I haven't updated them yet. Okay, cool, I'll have to point this out. What I want to keep for mine is the Q word, the response word, the associative strength, and the ID. So I have, the slide doesn't have ID in it, but I am going to keep the ID variable. So if we just did that, and by that I mean take the same pipeline that we had, which was this much, we filter arranged, and then you pipe the result again to a select statement, and you select and you just list, comma separated, list of the variables you want to retain. So that will keep Q, response, and strength. An alternative way to do it is to use negative indices. So if I'd say minus n response or comma minus n total, what that means is drop those columns and keep everything else. And what you can see, aha, I did it right this time, is that when I drop those other two variables, it's kept Q, response, strength, and ID. So let me tab back over to here, and I will open up my script, and for I'll just do it for the first one. So I'll do it for woman forward. I'll go to select, and I want to keep Q, response, strength, and you can see that once again I'm using the keyboard that puts my fingers up here, and ID. Okay, so if we just want to grab that and run it by itself, so just Command Enter to run that little bit, and Control L to clear the screen, bring this back up and go. What did I say? Woman forward, that's the one that I was looking at. So woman forward now only has those 4 variables. And that's essentially all there is to doing variable selections in using dplyr. There are other things to it, of course. I'm only showing you a small subset of what you can do with these functions, but the whole idea is to get you started, not to teach you all of the fancy stuff yet. Okay, so going back over to here, we have another exercise. So open up the exercise dplyr 4 script, and you'll notice that now in this version of the script the woman forward pipeline uses select, very much like I just did in the screencast. So now what your task is to modify this so that you're now using select for all the other variables. And so for all of the 4 data sets that we've got, the 4 data frames, woman forward, woman backward, man backward, make sure they all have select statements in there and reduce it to the 4 variables that we want to retain. And those are, what were they again? Q, response, strength, yes, I'm good at this, ID, that's the other one. Alright, I will let you do that, and then in the next video we will talk about mutate.